What if I told you that hidden within you is a mark that no one else can see? A sign not etched in ink or carved by human hands, but a divine signature that whispers you were never ordinary, you were chosen. Not everyone carries it, only one in a million does. And those who do, often don't even realize the weight of the destiny they're holding in their left hand. Some people walk through life unnoticed. They blend into the crowd, they follow the script, and they settle for what the world tells them is possible. But then, there are the marked ones. These are the souls who are different. They don't fit in, no matter how much they try. They feel called, set apart, misunderstood even in rooms full of people. The left hand throughout history has been symbolic. It represents destiny, the unseen forces that guide, the hand of provision and protection. To bear a mark, there isn't about physical ink or a visible scar. It is about an inner seal, a calling that says you cannot live like everyone else because you were never made to. If you are the one in a million, your journey will not be easy. The chosen walk through valleys that others never see. They are tested in silence, refined in fire, and stretched beyond measure. The very struggles you've endured were not punishments. They were the chisels shaping you into someone who can carry a greater purpose. The world often mistakes the chosen ones. They call them dreamers, rebels, outcasts, or misfits. But what they fail to see is that the very traits that make them different are the same traits that make them powerful. The chosen one is never here to follow the crowd. They are here to shift it, to awaken it, to lead it into new possibilities. And when you realize that the mark is on your hand, not by chance but by divine design, you stop asking, "Why me?" And you start declaring, "Why not me?" If you carry this mark, your life is not about survival. It's about transformation. It's about stepping out of the ordinary and stepping into the extraordinary. It's about becoming the leader, the healer, the visionary, the teacher, the one who changes the direction of not only your own life, but the lives of many. So the question isn't whether you're chosen. The question is, will you rise to it? Will you embrace the mark on your hand and the destiny it points toward? Because only one in a million carries it. And if you're hearing these words, maybe you are the one. When people hear about a mark on the left hand, their minds may rush to the idea of something physical, a birthmark, a scar, a line that sets them apart. But the truth is deeper, far beyond the visible. The mark is not ink. It is not flesh. It is not something another human being can see, touch, or measure. It is something spiritual. It is destiny itself, stamped into the fabric of your soul. The greatest signs in life are rarely visible to the naked eye. You cannot see courage in a photograph. You cannot capture faith in a mirror. You cannot measure hope with a ruler. These things live in the unseen, and yet they shape everything in the seen world. In the same way, the mark of the chosen one isn't a physical imprint on skin. It is an invisible signature of calling, purpose, and divine direction. Think of it this way. When a master craftsman creates something rare, they often leave their seal, a signature, an emblem, something that declares, "This was made with intention. This is authentic. This is not a copy." That is what the mark is. It is the seal of authenticity over your life, declaring that you were not mass-produced. You were handcrafted. You were made with a unique destiny no one else can carry. But why is the mark symbolic instead of literal? Because true destiny cannot be handed to you by someone else. If it were visible, people would worship the mark instead of honoring the calling. They would see the surface, not the substance. By keeping it hidden, the mark ensures that only those willing to step into their true selves will ever realize it's there. This is why so many chosen ones wrestle with a sense of being different without knowing why. They feel pulled in directions that others don't understand. They carry burdens that seem heavier than their peers. They dream dreams that feel too big for the environment they grew up in. All of that is the invisible mark doing its work. It whispers, "You cannot stay small. You were not made to blend in. You carry a destiny that must unfold." And the left hand matters here too. Across history and spirituality, the left hand has symbolized destiny, guidance, provision, and sometimes even mystery. It is the hand that represents what is hidden but powerful, the unseen forces shaping your path. So when we say the mark rests on the left hand, what we mean is that your destiny is already written, already guided, already carried with you everywhere you go, even when you don't notice it. Here's the truth: if the mark were something physical, many would copy it, counterfeit it, or wear it as a badge without living the life it requires. But because it is symbolic, no one can steal it from you. No one can counterfeit your destiny. No one can erase the calling that was placed on your life. It is yours and yours alone. This is why comparison is so dangerous for chosen ones. The mark is unique. It was never given to the crowd. It was never meant to look like anyone else's journey. If you try to measure your life by another person's path, you will miss the mark that is guiding yours. You cannot compare a handwritten signature to a printed copy. One carries soul, the other is lifeless. Your destiny is the handwritten kind. So the real question is not, do you have the mark? The question is, have you recognized it? Have you realized that what made you feel out of place was actually your greatest gift? Have you stopped looking for a physical sign and started listening to the inner voice that says you are chosen? The mark is symbolic because destiny always is. You cannot hold it in your hand, but you can carry it in your choices. You cannot show it to the world, but you can live it in your actions. And when you begin to honor the invisible, you will see it transform the visible. Your relationships will shift. Your vision will sharpen. Your path will align. So never be disappointed that there is no scar to prove your chosenness. The absence of a physical mark is the very proof that your calling cannot be stolen, copied, or diminished. It is etched deeper than skin. It is etched in your soul. The mark is not literal. It is symbolic. And in that symbolism lies your greatest power. Have you ever wondered why you feel different from the people around you? Why your thoughts, your drive, your struggles, even your sense of purpose never quite align with the majority? That is because the chosen are rare. Not everyone carries the same weight of destiny. Not everyone has been called to walk the narrow road. Out of a million lives, only one may bear that distinct calling. Think about what rare really means. Gold is valuable because it is rare. Diamonds are treasured because they are rare. Masterpieces are guarded and honored because they are rare. In the same way, chosen ones are not found on every corner. They are not scattered like sand on the shore. They are like jewels buried deep, waiting to be discovered by the world and often by themselves. This rarity explains why your life doesn't look like everyone else's. While others seem to move smoothly through seasons of comfort, you often face pressure, trials, and a constant pull towards something greater. You may have even wondered, why do I always feel like I don't belong? That very question is the fingerprint of rarity. You are not like everyone else because you were never meant to be. The chosen carry a kind of weight that the majority will never understand. To be one in a million means you are entrusted with responsibilities, visions, and assignments that cannot be given to the crowd. The crowd follows trends, but the chosen set direction. The crowd seeks comfort, but the chosen endure discomfort to fulfill a higher calling. The crowd looks for acceptance, but the chosen often walk alone until their destiny is revealed. And here's the paradox: chosen ones rarely recognize themselves at first. They look at their lives and see struggle, rejection, or difference. But what looks like rejection is actually selection. What feels like exclusion is often divine protection. You weren't kept out of the crowd because you weren't good enough. You were kept out because you were meant to rise above it. The truth is, if everyone could be chosen, the word chosen would lose its meaning. To be chosen means to be set apart, to carry something that others do not. That is why only one in a million is marked for such a path. Not because the others are worthless, but because destiny requires leaders, visionaries, and pioneers who stand out, not blend in. Look through history and you will see this pattern. Prophets, reformers, inventors, visionaries. Always the few, never the many. They were misunderstood in their time. They were criticized, doubted, and sometimes even mocked. But when the dust settled, their rarity became their power. Their difference became their legacy. and the world eventually realized it took only one to shift the direction of millions. If you are chosen, your rarity is not something to be ashamed of. It is something to be honored. Stop apologizing for being different. Stop questioning why your journey doesn't look like anyone else's. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into rooms you were meant to outgrow. You are not common. You are not average. You are rare, and rare things are meant to be guarded, refined, and revealed in time. But here is the key: rarity demands responsibility. To be one in a million is not just about privilege, it is about stewardship. You cannot treat your life casually if you carry a rare calling. You cannot waste time in distractions because your assignment requires focus. You cannot live for applause because your destiny is bigger than human approval. Being rare means your standard must be higher, your commitment deeper, and your endurance stronger. So, the question is, what will you do with the fact that you are one in a million? Will you bury your uniqueness out of fear of standing out? Or will you embrace it, rise into it, and let it guide you into the fullness of your calling? Remember this: you may feel outnumbered, but you are never outpowered. You may feel isolated, but you are never abandoned. Rare doesn't mean alone, it means significant. One in a million doesn't mean less, it means priceless. You were not made to be common. You were not made to blend. You were chosen because only you could carry what was placed inside of you. And if you are one in a million, live like it. Have you ever walked into a room full of people, smiled, nodded, even joined the conversation, and yet deep down felt completely out of place? Not because you lacked the ability to connect, but because something inside of you whispered, "This isn't where you belong." That is the story of the chosen ones. They often feel misunderstood. They rarely fit in. And though at first it feels like rejection, in time it becomes clear it was protection. The chosen are never meant to blend seamlessly into the crowd. Their very nature is different. They think differently, feel differently, and see life through a lens others can't. Where others see limitations, the chosen see possibility. Where others accept the ordinary, the chosen hunger for the extraordinary. And that hunger separates them. It sets them apart long before their purpose is revealed. But this difference is not always celebrated in the beginning. In fact, it is often criticized. As children, chosen ones may be called too much, or too quiet, too intense, or too imaginative. As adults, they may be accused of being unrealistic, restless, or difficult. What people don't realize is that these traits are not flaws, they are signals. They are early signs of the mark of destiny at work. Think about it: every great leader, visionary, or reformer was misunderstood in their time. They were mocked for seeing things others couldn't. They were doubted for carrying dreams too heavy for the average mind to comprehend. They were excluded because they didn't conform to the norms of the moment. Yet it was their very inability to fit in that allowed them to rise above. If they had blended in, they would have vanished into the background of history. Instead, they stood out, and standing out became their strength. For chosen ones, loneliness often becomes a companion. It's not the loneliness of having no one around, but the loneliness of being surrounded and still unseen. People may misread your motives. They may not understand why you decline opportunities that look good on the surface, but don't align with your soul. They may question your choices when you follow a path that makes sense to your spirit, but not to their logic. And this misunderstanding can be painful, because deep down, everyone wants to be understood. But here's the truth: you were never set apart to be understood, you were set apart to be prepared. The misunderstanding is part of the training. If you fit in too easily, you would lose the sharpness of your difference. If you were embraced too quickly, you would settle too soon. Your destiny required you to walk a little further, dig a little deeper, and trust a little longer than the crowd was willing to. The chosen walk a path of refinement. Being set apart is not punishment, it is alignment. It is destiny's way of keeping you from entangling yourself in places you were never meant to stay. It is life's way of pruning away distractions so that your focus sharpens on the vision inside of you. And when the season shifts, The very people who once misunderstood you will be the ones who look to you for guidance. Imagine a seed planted deep in the soil. While other seeds sprout quickly and show green above the surface, this seed seems silent, hidden, forgotten. But what no one sees is that its roots are growing deeper, anchoring it for the greatness that is coming. That's what being set apart feels like. You're underground, unseen and misunderstood. But you are not behind, you are being prepared. So, if you've felt like you don't fit in, stop forcing yourself into molds that were never made for you. Stop apologizing for being different. Stop shrinking your light so others feel comfortable in their shadows. Your difference is not a mistake. It is your calling card. It is the mark that sets you apart from the million and identifies you as the one. And one day, what made you misunderstood will make you unforgettable. What made you excluded will make you extraordinary. What made you set apart will reveal that you were set above. You don't fit in because you weren't made to. You weren't called to follow the rhythm of the crowd. You were chosen to create your own. When life hits hard, when trials seem to stack one after another, and when doors slam shut in your face, it is easy to believe you are being punished. You may even look around and wonder, why does everyone else seem to have it easier than me? Why is my path so heavy, so painful, so different? But the truth is this: your struggles are not evidence of punishment. They are evidence of preparation. The chosen walk a road that others cannot. And because their destiny is higher, their preparation is harder. Ordinary people can afford to have ordinary struggles, but extraordinary callings demand extraordinary refining. The fire you are going through is not to burn you. It is to purify you. The weight you are carrying is not to crush you. It is to strengthen you. The storms you endure are not to destroy you. They are to anchor you. Think of the blacksmith shaping a sword. Raw metal is not useful until it is placed in the fire, heated until glowing, hammered until it bends, repeatedly placed back into the fire, hammered again, and cooled in water. To the untrained eye, this process looks brutal, but to the craftsman, it is necessary. Every strike of the hammer, every moment in the fire, every chilling plunge in water is transforming raw metal into a weapon of strength and precision. That's exactly what your struggles are doing for you. Chosen ones often face hardships earlier and more intensely than others. Broken relationships, financial struggles, health challenges, rejection, betrayal. These are not random. They are part of the training ground. You are not being punished. You are being prepared to carry a calling that requires resilience. If you never knew betrayal, how could you lead others with compassion? If you never faced lack, how could you inspire others to rise above scarcity? If you never walked through darkness, how could you guide others into light? Struggles are the soil where strength grows. They strip away illusions and force you to discover what you are truly made of. They reveal resilience you didn't know you had. They draw out wisdom that cannot be learned in classrooms or books, only in the school of life's challenges. Every struggle is a teacher, every pain a lesson, every setback a stepping stone. And notice this: chosen ones rarely collapse under their struggles. They bend, yes. They weep, yes. They even question. But somehow, someway, they rise again. That rising is the proof of the mark. It is the evidence that destiny is alive within you. Others may fall and stay down, but the chosen cannot. Something inside refuses to quit. Something inside whispers, "This is not the end. Keep going." That is preparation at work. Preparation also explains why your journey cannot be compared to anyone else's. The chosen carry unique assignments, which means their struggles will be uniquely designed to prepare them. You may wonder why your friend didn't face the same hardships, but that's because they weren't called to your destiny. The fire assigned to you is custom, made for your refinement. It's like training an athlete. The runner doesn't train like the boxer. The swimmer doesn't train like the weightlifter. Each discipline requires unique challenges to prepare for unique victories. In the same way, your trials were tailored for your purpose. They may look different from others, but they are shaping you for the exact life you were chosen to live. When you shift your perspective from punishment to preparation, everything changes. Instead of asking, "Why me?" You begin asking, what is this teaching me? Instead of resenting the storm, you start recognizing the strength it's building. Instead of seeing obstacles as dead ends, you begin to see them as doorways into growth. Here's the power of it. Once you realize your struggles are preparation, you stop running from them. You embrace them, knowing they are equipping you. You carry them, knowing they are shaping you. And you overcome them, knowing they are leading you to the very destiny the mark on your life points toward. So don't despise your struggles. Don't curse the fire. Don't resent the hammer, because without them, you would remain raw material, unrefined, unprepared, unready. The chosen cannot walk into their destiny without being shaped first. And though it hurts now, one day you will look back and realize, the very struggles you thought would break you were the struggles that made you. Your struggles are not punishments. They are proof that you are chosen. They are the training ground for the greatness within you. And when the preparation is complete, you will not only survive, you will rise. From the moment we are young, the world teaches us to blend in. We are told to sit quietly, follow the rules, and act like everyone else. But chosen ones quickly discover that no matter how hard they try to blend, something about them always stands out. Their thoughts, their energy, their vision, it just doesn't fit into the box society wants to keep them in. For years, this can feel like a curse. But in truth, it is your greatest blessing. Your difference is your power. Look closely at history, and you'll see that no one who ever made an impact did so by being the same as everyone else. Leaders, visionaries, inventors, prophets, reformers, all of them stood out. Their difference was often mocked at first. Some were told they were crazy, unrealistic, or out of touch. But time revealed that what set them apart was the very thing the world needed most. The same is true for you. The traits that others question or misunderstand are often the exact qualities that carry your power. Maybe you've always thought too deeply, cared too strongly, dreamed too wildly, or spoken too boldly. Maybe you've been told you're too much or not enough. But what if those very traits weren't flaws at all? What if they were the raw materials of your destiny? Take the eagle, for example. Unlike other birds that fly in flocks, the eagle soars alone. It flies higher than the rest, able to see further and endure storms that other birds cannot. Its difference is not weakness. It is strength. In the same way, chosen ones are often called to fly differently. You were not designed for the comfort of the crowd. You were designed for the altitude of destiny. But here's the challenge: difference requires courage. It is easier to blend than to stand out. It is safer to be silent than to speak up. It feels more comfortable to shrink your vision than to risk being misunderstood. Yet, if you bury your difference, you bury your power. The world does not need another copy. It needs authenticity. It needs the rare, unrepeatable expression of who you are. This is why chosen ones often feel restless when they try to conform. Conformity suffocates them. Pretending to be like everyone else drains them. They can play the part for a while, but eventually something inside cries out, "This is not me. I was made for more." That cry is the voice of destiny, reminding you that your difference is not an accident. It is intentional. Think of a diamond. Before it is polished, it looks ordinary, rough, unimpressive. But hidden within its difference is unmatched beauty and strength. The cutting, the pressure, the process reveals what was always there. Your life is the same. The traits that feel out of place now are waiting to be revealed in their full brilliance. And here's something powerful. What makes you different is often the very thing people will need most from you. Your compassion will heal someone else's pain. Your vision will guide someone else's future. Your resilience will inspire someone else's hope. The world may not recognize your difference now, but one day it will see that your uniqueness was your gift to give. So instead of asking, "Why am I so different?" start declaring, "I am different because I am chosen." Stop apologizing for the way you were designed. Stop minimizing your voice to make others comfortable. Stop shrinking your light so others won't feel threatened. You were not chosen to dim, you were chosen to shine. Remember this: a blending in might make you safe, but standing out makes you significant. And chosen ones are not called to safety. They are called to significance. So embrace your difference, nurture it, let it grow. Because your difference is not your weakness. It is your weapon. It is not your flaw. It is your fingerprint. It is not the thing holding you back. It is the very thing that will push you forward. You are not ordinary. You are not common. You are not meant to fit in. You are meant to stand out. And the moment you embrace that, your difference will become your greatest power.